When you look at what's going on under this administration, we are seeing more fentanyl on our streets than we've ever seen before. We're seeing more deaths of United States citizens than we've ever seen before. We're seeing more crime than we've ever seen before by illegal immigrants in the United States. We're also seeing more deaths of those people that are crossing our borders illegally.
In Eagle Pass, Texas, where 2,500 migrants crossed on Wednesday, authorities today finding the body of a man in the Rio Grande River, just hours after a 3-year-old boy was swept away and killed.
Secretary Mayorkas, do you continue to maintain that the border is secure?
Yes, and we are working day in and day out to enhance its security, Congressman.
The president has done more to secure the border and to deal with this issue of immigration than anybody else. He really has.
Now, the number of migrants crossing the U.S.-Mexico border without legal permission is nearing record levels. There are about 7,000 migrants crossing the border each day on average.
The U.S. is only slightly off its record pace for migrant encounters set just last year, and border encounters do remain at an all-time high since 1960, the earliest year on record.
People crossing illegally travel on foot, urinate and defecate in fields and irrigation canals on the farms after they cross the border, which ruins whatever crop is growing in that particular farm. Farmers.
All right, let's get to a Fox 5 exclusive. Our camera's there with U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers as they arrested 2 undocumented sex offenders in Maryland.
The agency is seeing a record number of arrests this year.
I would ask you all to go out there at night, in the middle of the night, and see what goes on.
What's going on, according to community members, is loitering, late-night partying, littering, prostitution, and at least one fight between migrants and residents.
They disrespect us, they rob us, they harass us.
And
Noah died as a result of fentanyl poisoning. More specifically, illicit fentanyl poisoning. He was 15 years old. Illicit fentanyl is primarily manufactured in Mexico by the drug cartels and smuggled through our southern border.
This is not Christian. This is not compassion. And I know that some of my Democratic colleagues are starting to recognize that reality. Finally.
Places like New York really are at capacity. You know, we have large hearts. You want to be generous and supportive to people who are experiencing humanitarian crisis, but there is a limit to what we can do. We're at our limit. If you're going to leave your country, go somewhere else.
That comment is a far cry from what the governor was saying on the same subject less than 2 years ago.
We want people to come here, despite where they came from or despite the circumstances that drove them to this country and to this state. We say you are welcome here. We are welcome with open arms, and we'll work to keep you safe. We'll not only house you, but we'll protect you.
This issue will destroy New York City.
We are a nation of immigrants, and we are a nation of laws. And those two don't have to live in conflict. They could come here. There's a statutory way in which they could come here, and they need to make application and do so. But to come here and be given free entrance into the country isn't right for all those people who did their job and are now citizens who waited in line and followed the proper procedures.
This secretary and this president are blatantly disregarding their duty to figure out this problem. And it is a problem that must be dealt with now.
Under the Trump administration, we had the most orderly immigration system in my history. In 25 years of doing this job, I'd never seen anything that was more orderly than under President Trump. Then you look at the numbers that we apprehended under President Trump. We dropped to 45-year lows, something that this administration completely ignores. Look at the amount of fentanyl that was on our streets. It was at all-time lows under President Trump because we were able to go after the criminal cartels in real time.
It begins and ends with the president of the United States respecting the laws of the United States and actually enforcing the laws of the United States. And that's not happening.